Space, the final frontier. My name is Captain Foley, and these are my adventures. Captain's Log, Stardate 201602.08. Hey guys, I am back! Yay! I've been back for about a week or so. I had a really great vacation in Niagara Falls, some good time off, got the chance to relax and chill, so I'm feeling a lot better. A lot of people have commented that I look a lot better since I got back. And I do feel better. I mean, the stress of that week that since I've been back is kind of piled up, but you know, whatever. That's everyday life, so got to deal with that. I want to start off by saying thank you very much to everyone out there. You guys are amazing. There was a lot of well wishes and positive comments on my last Captain's Log that I really, really appreciate. So thank you so much. A lot of you were saying, have a good trip. Hope you enjoy your shore leave, Captain. It's your channel. You do what you want. You be who you are. We love you for what you are because this is what drew us to the channel. So a lot of positive feedback as far as that goes, and it's really, really appreciated. I read a lot of it while I was away on my vacation, and it really helped me out, and I thank you guys so much. I can't address all the comments. There's 148 of them. So I was going to do a two-part Captain's Log, where the first part was where I talk about what I need to talk about, and the second part was just addressing all of your comments, because I'd like to do that. I'd like to have you guys' voices heard and address you personally, but I don't think I'm going to do that because I just don't have the time for that. It's going to take a long time, especially with that many comments. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of your time. So if you had any questions or comments that you wanted to make public in the next Captain's Log, feel free to comment on this one, and I apologize. Like I said, I did read them all as they came in, but I don't think I'm going to address them all because it's just going to be too time consuming. So if you want to go back, if there's something you asked me that you want to know the answer to, go back, put the comment in this Captain's Log, and I'll address it next time. I just think that would work out a lot better for everyone involved. So thank you. One of the things, another thing you mentioned was my furnace, and that I should leave it on because it sounds like the engine's on my ship. And a lot of people thought that was intentional. Well, it wasn't, but thank you very much. I'm not going to freeze now, which is awesome. So, yeah. Best fans ever, I got to say. And I really appreciate all you guys do for me. And thank you. All right, so let's move along. Next thing, Jack Scatterfield added me to the Terran Empire Facebook page and made me Commodore Foley. Some of you have probably joined since then. If you haven't, maybe you want to check it out. Some cool stuff going on over there. But I wasn't satisfied with being a Commodore because they're not highest on the totem pole after all. So I've since promoted myself to Admiral. And it's the Mirror Universe, so promoting yourself is fairly straightforward, if you know what I mean. And so you can call me Admiral Foley over there. I think from now on, if I need to do a rant video or kind of take out my frustrations, I will do an Admiral's Log from the Mirror Universe. What say you? Should I shave my face for those? Anyway, check it out if you have the time. Next on the list is Adam Mojo Lebowitz. He's a visual effects supervisor or artist and supervisor that was working on Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek, Babylon 5, brought us lots of cool visual effects. He has a GoFundMe campaign right now. He's very sick. He's got an illness that the doctors haven't really been able to identify, and he wants to get back into work, and he needs help, basically. And he messaged me and wanted me to spread the word. I've done it before. I don't have a problem doing it again. He's brought us so much stuff that we absolutely love as fans. So if you could please check out his link. It's on GoFundMe, Adam Lebowitz. and Mojo is his nickname. I will try to include a link in the description below, so you guys can help him out. Anything that you can offer would help him out. If he does have some perk kind of rewards, if it's over $100, he'll do a picture of a spaceship or some kind of space scene and have, you know, any information or name on it that you like, something like that. And I think that would really be awesome. So if you guys can please help him out, help me out by helping him out, that'd be awesome. I'd really appreciate it. And he was one of the guys responsible for the Star Trek Starship Spotters Guide. And we owe a lot to those kind of people, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the shows that we love. And if we did, it might not be the same. So let's try to see if we can help him out, as that would be greatly appreciated. And, you know, we all win when we help somebody out. So next on the list is the Enterprise Restoration Project from the Smithsonian. I haven't really talked to Samuel much about this. I just wanted to run this out, put this out there, because I've kind of had a thought. I want to do a Trekyards episode on the restoration project when it's complete. What we want to do is talk to some of the people involved at the Smithsonian. We are lucky enough to know most of the advisory committee for the Enterprise. You know, Rick Sternbach, Andrew Probert, John Eves, all these guys. And I don't think getting someone at the Smithsonian to come on our show and talk about it would be problematic at all. I just want to get your guys' thoughts on that. Is that something you guys would like to see? I mean, it's right up Trekyards' alley. I know that the Smithsonian's doing a documentary on the restoration of the ship, which will be amazing to see, absolutely. But we'd kind of like to do our own thing. And I don't know what you guys think about that. I don't even know what Samuel thinks about that, really. Samuel, what do you think? I think it's a brilliant idea, because I thought of it. So there's that. I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that. And yeah. So we did a lot of people have been asking us about our thoughts on Star Trek Beyond, generally on the trailer, which we haven't done. We haven't done a podcast in a while. We haven't done a podcast on that specifically, just because I didn't think it was very good. But we did do a mission briefing on the USS Franklin, and it did really well. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I'm going to put a link in the description below for that, so that you can enjoy it. Cool looking little ship. I kind of like it, personally. I like the design. I don't like the scale. The scaling looks way off. It looks way too small. And of course, you got that stupid transparent bridge window, which a lot of people, even after our mission briefing, is saying is a shuttle bay or a deflector. Neither of which makes any sense at all. Not that the bridge window makes any sense either, but that's the JJ aesthetic. That's the way it is. We've got some inside information, inside scoops on from people working on Beyond, and it's pretty much 99% positive that that's the view screen window. Yes. Another interesting fact that I found out while I was getting the information for the Franklin from an inside source was that people at Bad Robot and CBS and In the Know actually watch Trekyards, and they do it to get some positive feedback from the fans. They want to make the fans happy. So they watch Trekyards, apparently. This is what I've heard. I don't know if it's true. And they take note of the comments and stuff, because they want to do what's best for the fans. And I like to think in some way that we're influencing the future of Star Trek by doing that. I mean, the Franklin is an interesting design. It's kind of based on the Fassa Lochnar class, and that's cool in itself. They looked at some side canon stuff, some actual in-canon stuff, and kind of whittled it down to a few Starship designs and came up with that one, which is very cool. Thank you very much for taking the time and actually understanding that we want to see that kind of stuff. So I don't know if Trekyards influenced that decision to do the FASA, look at these other ships. That would be incredible if it did. But I just wanted to put that out there, that I think that we are kind of making an impact as far as that goes. A lot of people have commented too that we're keeping the spirit of Trek alive, and a lot of people haven't been this interested in Trek for years, since finding our show now that they're back into it. So that's great to hear. I love hearing that kind of stuff. So take that for what it's worth. But like I said, the episode on the Franklin's a great one. There are a few points that I wish I would have thought of while we were filming it that I've kind of come to the realization now, and I want to share those kind of here real quick. First of all, that detail, that hull detailing is very strange, and we kind of tried to explain it away in the mission briefing. But one thing that was never really thought of was that it could be, in fact, a Federation attempt at a cloaking device. And those nodes and nodules on the hull are actually the emitters and things like that for the cloaking device. It could be a Romulan hybrid. A lot of people said the ship looks Romulan. It does, sort of. It's got the orange striping, and it does kind of look like a bird of prey from the angle that they showed it on. So I kind of get that. Maybe it's a Section 31 ship that there's speculation has been lost, or it's abandoned, or crashed, or the crew's being held as slaves. So who knows? Who knows what it's about? But there's a lot of cool speculation and stuff out there that wasn't included in our mission briefing, which I kind of wish would have been. But it's a good mission briefing. Check it out if you haven't already. And speaking of great episodes, this past Saturday we did the Andrew Probert's Enterprise or Ambassador class or Enterprise C prototype or concept ship, and it has had a huge fan reaction. The numbers right now, after being out, this is Monday at 9 a.m. This has been out since Saturday, and around noon my time, 3,261 views. That's incredible for one of our videos to get that high that fast. So thank you guys. 156 comments, 216 likes, and 1 dislike. And whoever disliked it, I don't know what your problem is, but you do it on almost every one of our videos. There's at least 1 or 2 dislikes, and screw you. Trying to ruin the fun for everybody else. Anyway, so that episode's been amazing. It was great to learn about that ship. I really like the ship. I'm not a fan of it from the top. The top view really doesn't do anything for me. It kind of, ugh. But to see it in flight, see Tobias Richter's renders of it in flight, and to see the renders that Samuel did using Michael Wiley's CGI model were incredible to see. And it made me appreciate and love the ship even more than I did before. And I think it's great. It is kind of too advanced almost, I think, for the Enterprise C. And I think that Rick Sternbach's is kind of a better take on that. I love the Ambassador that Rick Sternbach did as well. So a lot of people have speculated that this one should be a refit for the Enterprise or the Ambassador class. We like to, at Trekyards, we call it the advanced Ambassador class prototype. That was never really put into full production. It does seem a little too advanced and stuff. And a lot of people have said they would have liked to see it as opposed to the Enterprise D for the Enterprise D, which I don't get in a way. Like, the Enterprise D is kind of an ugly duckling in a way, but at the same time, I really like it. It grows on you. If it doesn't, I don't understand. It's an Enterprise. It's nice. Some of the angles are ugh, but others are very majestic and beautiful. So anyway, great episode, and I hope you guys checked it out. If you haven't, I'll include a link for that as well. That's a lot of links I got to include now. Oh, my memory's not what it used to be. So if you don't see them down there, just look them up on YouTube. So anyway, that's that. A few other things. I came up with an idea for a contest, and I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but I want to do a Photoshop contest. I recently put a few pictures of myself wearing this with like my phaser, which is over here. Phaser, doing my thing, and posted those on Trekyards and said, could somebody Photoshop in an alien landscape? And I got a few great ones, but that got me thinking. I would love to do something else like that, but have it a contest, and Samuel and myself get to pick a winner and a runner-up and honorable mention, stuff like that. So, A, are you down for that? B, how should I do it? Should I have you guys private message me if you're interested, and I'll send you, I don't know if I should just do one photo or like 2 or 3 photos that you can choose from. I think I should probably do the same photo for everybody. That way it's fair as far as everybody's got the same thing to work with. So I might just do one photo. I need your thoughts on it though. So is that something you're interested in? Is that something that you think would be fun to do? And how should I go about it? Should I have you guys private message me and I'll just send the pictures to the people that are interested? Or should I have it posted on the Trekyards page and have you guys just go and download the picture whenever you feel like it, if you want to play around with it? What are your thoughts? I need input on that. Plus, it's a great way for me to get shots of me in front of alien landscapes. I mean, my display picture on Facebook is amazing. I can't remember the guy's name that did it for me. He took one of my photos and photoshopped the shuttle bay interior behind me. Looks amazing. It looks absolutely incredible. And I can't think of his name. I feel so bad. Anyway, thank you very much. Another thing, I've been starting to get back into my model building. I still have my 350 refit on the go, and that is going to be something that I'm going to start to get back into soon. If you've been following the Trekyards model building page, I have posted a few photos lately of this bad boy here. And this is a 2400 scale Federation class Dreadnought, which, as we all know, is one of my favorite ships. This thing is incredible. I've got it assembled now. Got a little magnetic stand that I made. So, Delta on the stand. So this is going to be painted now. It's been primed. It's ready to go. Beautiful ship. I absolutely love these ships. Like I said, it's got magnets in the base, which come in handy if you want to do something even like this. Trust me, it works. Just got to get it on there right. There you go. So you can store it there, or just take it on and off the base with ease. So I'm doing a few of these. I have a Stingray class movie era ship as well as a Miranda style. It's not the Miranda class because it doesn't have the roll bar. I can't think of the name of the class offhand. Anyway, so it's got the 2 lower engines. It looks exactly like a Miranda, but it's TOS era. Doing that one in 2400 scale. One of the Trekyards guys, fans, is mailing me a few of these 2400 scale that he assembled and has primed, but hasn't painted. He's not into the 2400 scale anymore, so I'm getting a few more of these, which is really nice. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'll do an unboxing of those, of course, when they come. So, oh, that was down here. I had it down here so you guys could see. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to be doing more model building stuff, and that'll be on the Trekyards model page. I have a few unfinished models going that I want to kind of wrap up. One of which is the Katinga from Star Trek VI. Now, it's very roughed out right now. It needs finishing paint and detailing and things like that. But I want to start finishing all these models and getting them off of my to-do list and off of my workbench. My workbench is a little bit of a mess since Christmas because I had my tree on there, and I got all my 350 refit parts. I need to clear it off, wipe it down, reorganize it, and then I'm going to start on my refit again and kind of get into that, because I've noticed that spending time on things like this really help my stress levels and get my mind off of things. So I'm thinking working on the refit, as stressful as it is to work on the refit and do modeling, it is still a stress reliever in a way as well, and that's kind of what I think I need. So Yeah, so look forward to like model building videos and stuff for me as well coming up soon, as that's kind of what I want to do. Even the finishing up of these things, I will do videos on that probably. So yeah, stuff to stay tuned for. I also have a 1/1400 scale Dreadnought class, well, Federation class Dreadnought TOS from Starcraft models, and I am going to be looking forward to building that soon too. So it's bigger than this. This is a 2400 scale. I'll just get you the box. Why not? So this is going to be one of my next projects, which I'll probably build before the refit's finished. I like doing little projects in between, kind of break up the monotony of the bigger projects. So I've got TOS Dreadnought, which is awesome. And I've also got a Ptolemy class Tug TOS. So those are two of the things on my to-do list. So there's that. Now, what else can we talk about today? One of the things I had listed down here that I wanted to chat about was future technology and the ape brain. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but any movies that kind of try to predict the future are usually always wrong. I mean, they get a few things right, a few little subtle things, but really Back to the Future said, we're going to have flying cars and hoverboards. If you look around, it's pretty much the exact same as the 1950s, just things are sleeked out a bit. So you've got, cars on wheels. Just a lot nicer looking cars on wheels. You've got skateboards that aren't hoverboards. You got motorized hoverboards, which aren't hoverboards, but they're cool and they're futuristic, and they would have been futuristic for the time back in the 1950s. But we tend to overestimate our future, and I kind of wanted to speak about that in regards to Star Trek, because we've done a few episodes with Doug Drexler about the Enterprise J and a few other things, and he thinks that by that time the ships will be organic hulls and grown and all this in space, and I gotta disagree with him. I think that we'll still be using the same kind of shipbuilding techniques, just more refined. I mean, yes, we do grow parts in 3D printers, as they call them. They call it growing the part. But we do that, and I get that. I don't think they could grow a whole starship, though, like Doug has said. And don't get me wrong, I love Doug. I love talking to Doug. I love hearing his thoughts. But for some reason, the other day, I was thinking that we always overestimate how advanced we're going to be. And usually it's just subtle little refinements on things that we already have. And really, it's not that drastic of a change. Even, 50, 60 years on, it's not that great of a change. I mean, yes, you look back 100 years ago and things have changed quite a bit, especially with the automobile and stuff. But it's hard to say. And that's kind of where my ape brain's kicking in. I think that we will be still building ships in sections, maybe larger components on Earth. Now, hear me out. But moving those components into space, into orbital space dock, to assemble them and finish the ship. There's no way that you can build a ship like a Galaxy class or like the Constitution class on Earth. It would fall apart. It's built for a zero-G environment. You can tell by the way the engines are designed. If you've ever built a goddamn Enterprise model, you understand what I'm talking about with the engine sag. To have that in a real-world application on a planet with gravity won't work. You'd have to have the structural integrity field running while you're building the thing in order for it to maintain its stability. That's why you got to build it in space. And a lot of people have said, well, there have been ships in orbit or in the atmosphere. Yes, TOS. But did you notice how much trouble that the Enterprise was having maintaining its altitude and that was a high altitude, by the way. So it still didn't have all the full forces of gravity acting upon it. So this is kind of a two-pronged thing that I want to talk to you about. First of all was the advancement thing. Second of all was the shipbuilding thing. Because I've had a lot of discussions. I wanted to say arguments, but it's more discussions with people lately about how ships would be built. And yes, we see pictures of the Enterprise or a Galaxy class being built on the surface of Mars in one of the episodes, and I was told that by somebody that's canon and I'm wrong. Okay. Somebody probably did that as a matte painting. It looks awesome. I can't see a Galaxy class being built on Earth, sorry, or on a planet. Sorry, it just doesn't work for me. Bigger components, yes, and then assembled up in orbit. There's even a book where right before the motion picture, the Enterprise's saucer section was built on Earth, and then piloted up to the secondary hull for attachment in space dock. It was piloted up by William Decker. That I kind of get, because the saucer is designed to go into an atmosphere and land. Like a crash land, but a controlled land, a controlled crash, I guess. It's not aerodynamic enough to fly, so I don't know what kind of magical gravity things we would use to make it like fly. I mean, we have anti-grav units in Star Trek, but they're for smaller objects. You'd have to attach anti-grav units to the outside of the ship. It just doesn't make sense that it would be built in the atmosphere. And even that novel where the saucer was flown up, I don't agree with. I think larger sections would be constructed, like maybe wedges of the ship that were tractored out into space and assembled or something. So yeah, I got a real issue with that. I know that Voyager is designed to go in an atmosphere, and that makes perfect sense. It's small, it's stubby, it's very stout, it's got no neck or attachment points that are in a gravity environment. So it makes sense, right? And it is designed specifically to do that. I can never see a Galaxy class ship being in the position that even the TOS Enterprise was in the episode yesterday. Tomorrow is yesterday. Drawing a blank, but anyway, tomorrow was yesterday. Yeah, I think that's the episode title. You know, the one where they go back and meet the pilot and are identified as a UFO. Sorry, I'm just drawing a blank. It's the morning and I haven't had a coffee. All right, give me a break. So I get that a human advancement is amazing. We have come a long way in 100 years, but at the same time, whenever a movie tries to guesstimate how we're going to be 30, 40, 50 years in the future, they're always wrong. I mean, even at the turn of the century, when you see artist depictions of how life is going to be 100 years from now, we got flying balloons and like jetpacks and balloons that carry your house and things like that. It's just kind of so far-fetched. So I think Star Trek's a very accurate depiction of how the future would be. Still within the confines of our ape brain, and yet just a little bit oozing out. I mean, Doug tends to say that the ape brain is very limited and that you got to turn all that off and just anything's possible. And yes, anything is possible given time and the resources. But I don't buy all that is said about that. And there's no attack against Doug. This is just something I've been thinking about lately, and it's been kind of bugging me. So I just wanted to get it out there. So that's about it for that. I mean, I'm going to see comments on this in the things below, and I'll be able to read those in the next Captain's Log. Don't go into too much detail. Try to keep them short and sweet. And an error occurred. Oh no. Yeah, so try to keep your comments and questions kind of short and sweet and to the point. As you guys know, when they get longer, I can't read them all on my iPad. It only expands it so much, and then it's got the little dots again, and I'm like, So, and again, I apologize for not addressing all your comments in this captain's log, but it would have been an hour and a half, 2 hours long, and nobody wants to sit through that. I mean, come on. It's just me. I know I wouldn't want to sit through it. So, but I'm starting fresh, clean slate. Psh, all that's behind me now. All that negative stuff that I was ranting about in that. I just want to start fresh and new. And thank you guys for all the positive comments on the last one. But let's just start new from here. And like I said, if there's anything that you said in that last one that you want me to address, then feel free to put it in the comments below on this one. Another thing that I wanted to mention too is we have filmed a Trekyards fact files on the failed transwarp, the failed Federation transwarp experiments with the Excelsior. We explain how the transwarp works, why it didn't work, and kind of the whole thing behind that. Because a lot of people have been talking about or asking questions about the transwarp drive experiments on the Excelsior and why that kind of never went anywhere. We address all that. We have all the questions answered-ish, most of them, in a Fact Files episode, which has not been edited together and not been made yet. Basically because we ran out of time with a lot of things and kind of got pushed into the background. This was made way back when we were doing all the Fact Files as a proof of concept for what we are capable of should our Patreon kind of get to where we need it to be. Which I'd still love for it to have happen, because the Fact Files, I really enjoyed them. They were short, they were, fun to do, and they just got the point across very nicely. And there's this whole episode on transwarp, which I think you guys are going to absolutely love. Absolutely love. I mean, and it'll explain it'll answer so many questions. Whenever somebody comments on something that, oh, what about transwarp? You can just put this link in there and go watch this. So I just want you guys to know that exists and it's out there in the world. Not yet. Well, it's not out there in the world yet. It's locked in our computers. Samuel and I have to get to work on that. But it's something that I want to get edited together very soon, because it's very informative and it's something that Star Trek fans need to kind of know about, I think. And it's something that's always bugged me about Star Trek, is the fact that not a lot of people know how transwarp works. And I did a bunch of research for it, and I figured out and found out how it does or is supposed to work, and why it really didn't fare too well. So that is something I want you guys to look forward to. Samuel, we need to get on that. I keep thinking about it, and then I might mention it for a second, and then it gets, yeah, well, we need to do this, and then it just gets lost in the shuffle. And I feel bad, because it's something that you guys need to see. Samuel, put it on the to-do list. We need to do the Fact Files on the transwarp. I want to get it done. I'm thinking that's it for this episode, or this Captain's Log, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I got stuff to do, models to do, that you're going to see more of. This is going to be painted soon. I'm going to put a coat of pearlescent white on it later today. And then paint on the decals, or paint on all the details, and then get the decals on it. It's going to be an amazing looking little ship. So, and another thing that you guys can look forward to, a lot of people have been bitching and whining lately about 3 nacelled ships and how, well, not a lot of people. Somebody commented on the Galaxy X video and made a comment about how, notice how Stuart didn't say anything about the 3 nacelles being a problem because of his dreadnought, even though 3 nacelle ships can't exist in Star Trek. Anyway, we filmed an episode with Andrew Probert on ship design, starship design, and it talks about Gene's rules for starship design. There's 4 of them. I'm not going to go into them here because it's been filmed. We talk about it with Andrew Probert. He's a stickler for those rules. Anything he designs in the Star Trek world follows those rules. So we had a nice discussion with him about that. And you know what? It is possible for 3 nacelled and single nacelled ships to exist, despite the fact that Gene had a pairs rule that the engines need to work in pairs because they're codependent. There's a way around that. There's a few ways around that, actually, and we kind of discussed those in that episode. That's something that you can look forward to in the next month or 2, hopefully. It should be, well, I don't know. I'm saying that. Samuel's probably like, I don't know what I'm doing it. We got a lot of stuff filmed and ready and in the bank, and we have a lot of other stuff that's filmed and edited and actually ready to go out that's scheduled. So I don't know when that's being released, but stay tuned for it because it's something that I think you guys will really, really, really love. And it's something that Star Trek fans need to know about, is the Starship rule designs by Gene Roddenberry and how they were made up years after TOS, after the Franz Joseph Technical Manual came out. So those things already existed in the world, and then Gene came on and said, okay, there's these rules now. These are the rules. And it's like, ugh. So you can't give Franz Joseph crap for designing really awesome, cool-looking ships. Anyway, it's going to be a great episode. It was fun to film, and it's one of the things that I've always wanted to kind of talk about in Trekyards, and so now we have the opportunity. So that's it, guys. I think I'm actually done now. Got a few things to do today, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know what your thoughts are about the photo contest and things like that. Oh, one more thing real quick before I go. Sorry, I completely forgot about this. Trekyards app. If we had a developer develop a Trekyards app, what would it include? Probably an episode guide. I've had suggestions for blueprints and stats on ships, pictures. I mean, that's all stuff that Google can do. So I don't know. I want something unique, something you think that a Trekyards app could offer you that perhaps Google couldn't if you were looking up for a certain ship. I know Trekyards is about ships, and I would love to have blueprints for every ship we've done and things like that. But finding those resources are sometimes difficult, and I don't have somebody that can just draw them off the cuff for each one in their spare time. So is there anything else special that you guys would want out of a Trekyards app? Please let me know in the comments. I've put a question or a post on the Facebook page about it. If you have any suggestions, go there, check it out. Put your comments in there as well, as that would be greatly appreciated. Immediately feedback. This feedback that you're putting in the comments here, I'll get to probably next week or whenever I do my next Captain's Log. But I'm really looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that, because we would love to do a Trekyards app of some kind. And I just want to get your thoughts on exactly what you guys want and what you think it would need to include that's exclusive to Trekyards, and something that we could consider doing for you guys. That's it now for real, because now I'm done. I just need to go have a coffee. Because, like I said, I haven't had my morning coffee yet. When I have my morning coffee, I get kind of grumpy and rambly. And I feel like I've kind of been that way with you guys, and I apologize. But I'm going to go, and I will see you all very soon. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Captain Foley signing off. Live long and prosper.